Hello yet again, welcome back to my little Jeti clinic, and in this episode we're going to look at specifically making a digital control for the assist receiver gain. Because if you use the Jeti gyro menus in the transmitter and use a digital control for the gain, in fact use any control for the gain, the gyro menus only allow you travel from one end to center, whereas the assist is expecting you to go from end to end to have full control over the sort of basic gain. And we can do this with a digital control, but we just don't use the gyro menu. But I just want to show you what you can do, how it works, so that if you're a bit unsure, just follow this step by step and you'll get there. I apologize if there's a lot of background noise in this video. Firstly, it's raining very heavily, so there's a lot of rain noise on the roof of my workshop. And secondly, there's a delightful little hedgehog somewhere just outside the workshop, snuffling around, grunting away and making a right old racket. So presumably he's finding all the snails and slugs and worms that are coming up to the surface in the rain. Anyway, don't want to disturb the little chap. Okay, off we go. We've got a model with a couple of aileron servos. The assist is up and working. Let's see how we'd create our digital control and get the assist to understand it. Okay, so we go into our model, function assignment. I've created a function called gain, and now what I'm going to do is assign it to the first of the free digital trims that you can create. So we go down here, say digital trim, trim 5. I'll be using the rotary control P8, but notice we're not assigning it to P8, we're assigning it to trim 5. Say OK to that, out of there, and servo assignment as usual. We've got then the gain is using channel 6. OK, going to fine tuning, digital trim, and this is where we create it. So here's the first of our two freely assignable digital trims. This was the trim 1, 2, 3, 4, trim 5 that we've just assigned the function to. So we go in there and we say now it's rotate the knob P8. We're going to assign it to gain, and just to make it interesting we'll say it's separate per flight mode, because this is where it gets really useful. Half the point of using digital trims is that you can have separate values in the separate flight modes. And if we stay with that step along here, we'll leave it at the 2% step. It will actually step 2 to 3% on each click of the thing. You can turn that down to 1% if you want. To be honest, if you're setting up a gyro that finely, you might want to be doing other things. Anyway, doesn't matter. I'll leave it as 2% and show that the assist can pick that up when we're trying to assign its channels. Okie doke. And that should be it, if I've got it right. Yep. So let's have a look in servo menu, receiver output. I've already set up 3 flight modes, by the way, A, B and default. Channel 6 was our output. So there we go, flight mode A. I'll turn the knob. You see it's stepping actually 3 points at a time, even though we've set 2 in the trim. Oh, there was a 2, there's a 3, there's a 3, a 2. So stepping about 2-3 points, and da-di-da-di-da-di-da-di-da-di-da-di-da-di-da-di-da-di-da. I'm just proving we can get the 100% gain that way. See, we can, and if we switch flight modes, well, there, because I'd already been turning the dial a couple of times there in the other flight mode. So we can set our gains in different flight modes. Let's set the assist to use this. Go back into Device Explorer, into our assist. channel assignment, assign the additional channels, gain tuning channel. Oh, I've already been playing with it, test it, so we'll clear it out. So you'd come to, let's say it's the roll tuning you want, so edit it. It's asking for a channel. Now turn the knob enough times and it picks it up. You've got to do it for quite a few clicks. It's just looking for a reasonable bit of travel, because imagine you're using some other control, you might knock something else. It's just looking for a decent bit of travel. So there we go. It's picked up that little bit. And so we can say OK to that. And now I'll just leave it in that screen. We're in flight mode B. I'll set flight mode B back to 0%. And we'll set the default flight mode now to -100, which the Jeti Assist interprets as, it's not quite zero gain, but it's very, very close to it. There's only a tiny fraction of gain left. Remember, you set a separate switch to switch the gain off, or you can even use the flight mode. So there, between our three flight modes, we've got the gain at -100%, 0, and +100%. And looking at my amazing no expense spared model, here is flight mode A with +100% gain. I don't know if you can see them rotating, can you? Whoops, daisy, yep. Flight mode B with 0% and default with -100%. This should have virtually switched the gain off. Yes, it has. So there you have lovely digital step control for it. What are the other advantages? Well, it doesn't matter where you leave the gain tuning knob. Look, we'll turn it down there, leave it there. I'll switch the radio off. So receiver off,
signal lost,
transmitter off. Bring it all back online. And it doesn't matter that the trim knob is way down there.
Armed.
Let's have a look at the gain output. There we are. Default -100%. B 0, A 100. So we've now got a lovely digital trim control over the gains. Have fun.